And then looking back on the season so far, obviously it's been terrific for West Ham. We're playing much better attacking football, scoring more goals, and as a result, the fans have responded really well. Upton Park, the atmosphere has been a lot better. Why in 6 months has there been such a big change in our fortunes, do you think, Jacob?
Well, I think the recruitment has been absolutely superb. It's probably, that summer was probably one of the best transfer windows that West Ham have had in the last 10 or 15 years. I think even before they got Alex Song in late on, clearly the players who came in were good signings, like Kouyaté and Valencia and Cresswell as well, an underrated player, good signing from Ipswich, and Jenkinson. So they got players who could take them on to a slightly higher level. I think that sometimes the criticism they got for playing, maybe more limited or agricultural football, whatever you want to call it, whatever term you want to give it.
Yeah.
If you have players who are maybe not so technical as the players they have now, then you have to cut your cloth accordingly, and that's what Sam did. I think that he's a pragmatic manager. If you give him good players, then he can sculpt a good team, and if you give him players who maybe need to play in a certain way, then he's equally comfortable doing that. And it's hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
Last season it certainly was, but this season I think he's proven a few people wrong. That he can adapt.
Definitely. And Wally, would you agree with those comments that sort of the new players that have been brought in have helped a lot in turning around the squad's fortunes?
Well, the longer you stay in the Premier League and the more financially stable you become, the better players you can recruit, and the better players will want to come to your club. So, the first couple of years getting into the Premier League and then stabilising in the Premier League were critical. Now you've had 3 years in there, you can start attracting better players. Alex Song coming to West Ham from Barcelona is a great example of that. As I said before, he may have been doing it for his own ends, but that certainly puts the West Ham into players' mindsets about it's a progressive club that they want to come to. Those two players have come in, they've been given game time, Valencia and Sacco, and they've done really well. But the two fullbacks have been excellent recruitment as well. Cresswell was always highly thought of as a good player.
Well, obviously, speaking of players, I mean, last season we didn't really have a lot of candidates to choose from, but I suspect there'll be a few more when they announce the Hammer of the Year at the end of this season. Halfway through, who would be your half Hammer of the Year, Jacob?
I'd probably say Diafra Sakho for the goals, and coming from the second division in France, having never played in a top division in European football before, to hit the ground running so quickly for West Ham, and scoring against big teams as well, against Manchester United, Liverpool, City, the winner, is a great achievement from him. So, Sakho.
And Wally, would you agree? Or?
No, I'd give it to, I'm funny like that, I'd give it to Noble. I still think he's the glue that makes everything happen there. In my experience there, he's the best trainer there every day. He's out first, last in. Just looking at the game on Sunday, the clearance off the line, that's his job. He's been told to do it. He hasn't forgot it. He's done exactly what he's meant to do. Kept you in the cup.
That's fair enough. What about Aaron Cresswell? Probably worth having.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of West Ham. Only what I've seen on the TV. But I always liked him as a player. His running's terrific. His stats are good, and he gets the ball in the box. He was recommended to me a few years ago by a couple of the Ipswich boys, and it's no secret everyone knew he's a good player. It was just about who could get him.